The boy freezes, spiral eyes, glasses too big for his face, staring up at something he absolutely was not ready for. Outside a stone archway, Ash and Lucas stand still. Shouts and crashes leak out from the guild beyond, rough and ugly. Ash smirks. Red cape, dark uniform, calls them energetic, like a prince walking into a brawl is the most normal thing. Inside, the guild hall simmers. Long tables, drunk mercenaries, dim lamps, the kind of room where trouble starts fast and ends faster. A huge bearded mercenary slams up from his chair, screaming at the door. Who the hell just walked in? Fists tightening. Ash snaps back just as loud. Teeth bared, eyes sharp, asking what these bastards are glaring at, like he owns the room. Hushed voices spread across the tables. The third prince, the lunatic, the one who killed all his men at the front lines. Ash's dark eyes sweep the room, cold and patient. He isn't here to brawl. He's shopping, asking if anyone here is sparkly. In his head, the game logic clicks. The Mercenary Guild is where you pull new characters. Rank is everything. Nothing else matters. Silver hair. Eye patch. Medals. A woman in a black uniform stands tall across the hall. The prince's eyes light up. Found it. Ash crosses the floor. Lucas behind him. He asks, almost gently, if the soldier would mind telling him her name. Of course. Medals gleam down her chest. Gloved hands fold. She holds a long cigar like a sword she already won with. Ash tilts his head, smiling that small knife of a smile. So you used to serve the Empire. Not a question. A door opening. 30 years, she says, smirking. A woman who has bled for more flags than most soldiers ever salute. Gloved fingers tilt a glass. Amber liquid swirls. The kind of pour someone only makes when they've lost a lot and kept drinking. Ash grins wider. Why else would a prince walk into a place like this? He isn't shopping for soldiers. He's shopping for legends. His dark eyes sharpen. He already knows her name. He already knows her past. The hunt is almost done. Lucas reaches out, armored glove catching Ash's wrist. A silent warning. Ash doesn't even turn. It's all right, Lucas. I've got this. She draws on the cigar, slow. The rumors from the battle at the front lines have already spread around the Crossroad. In her memory, the prince stands hand raised in the ruin, a silhouette against the wreck of an army that trusted him. The mercenaries behind her don't move. None of them want to die under a naive newbie commander who got half his men killed. Ash hears all of it, unbothered. He tilts his head, gives the smallest nod. I see, he says, like a prince filing a complaint. A boot thuds down on the floorboards. But listen, he says. His voice changes, softer, sharper, a blade being drawn slow. Since there's no way to make money besides selling your lives, he says, isn't this exactly how you ended up here? Are you not idiots, Ash says, who dig their own graves? His voice thunders through the hall. Mercenaries freeze mid-sip. That statement seems a little weird coming from you, Ash tells her. Dame Jupiter, her face tightens. He named her on purpose. Ash smirks at his own hand. She probably didn't think a prince like him knew about her past. She is about to learn. Two silhouettes in a supply yard, crates of contraband. Jupiter trading with the enemy, caught, kicked out, discharged in disgrace. Her aide snaps. How shameless, he spits, turning on Ash, defending a past she buried years ago. Lightning rips down the memory. A heroine more pirate than soldier. The lightning sorceress, Jupiter, a weapon the Empire threw away. Your Highness, Jupiter says, softer now. The cigar pauses at her lips. The hall is watching. Her voice has lost its edge. Her aide throws up a hand. Please watch your whir. Ash cuts him off cold. How much, he says. 2 words only. Jupiter's eyes snap wide behind the eye patch. The prince is serious. He is actually buying her back from the dirt. I take at least 100,000 Adels a yay, she starts, trading voice smooth. She's already halfway into a pitch. Thunk! A heavy leather pouch drops on the table. Stacks of gold, not promises. He came with the money already counted. The white-haired servant with spiral eyes stares. All 400 magic gems, gone from the castle stores. The prince drained them. Spending spree, Ash said, smiling. If I could buy an SR ranker, I'd pay any price. This is what that sentence actually costs. Your fear of death, Jupiter says, holding up a signed contract stamped with an A. I shall buy it. The deal is done. Ash faces the room. Come to the empty field west of Crossroad this evening. Every mercenary here is hired now, officially. Next stop. The next place I went was the church, a voice says over a skyline. Stone towers reach toward a pale sky. A cathedral, white marble, winged statue, light pouring down gold. A place for healing. A place Ash absolutely did not come for. A woman in white and gold turns, red cross between her brows, long auburn hair, a hidden R-ranked heroine, a top-tier healer. Ash faces her calm, unreadable. But, he says, that's not why I came here today. She blinks, confused, off script already. He sets a heavy coin pouch down on the plinth with a quiet thud. Donation? Bribe? Both? It doesn't matter. It's leverage. Out from behind a pillar steps a boy in a priest's collar. Round glasses, soft smile. Damien, I see you're adjusting well. Ash's face barely shifts, a small knowing smile. Damien is the real prize. The priest who can see through mountains. That evening, west of Crossroad, a burning orange sky swallows the fields. The prince has an audience waiting. The show begins. Two figures stand small against long red banners, a procession of the dead stretching back as far as the eye can follow. The parade of coffins arrives from the frontline base. Crimson banners, gold trim, every box a name Ash once commanded. Ash watches them roll in, his face empty. No tears, no speeches, just a prince staring at the receipts of his own disaster. Rows of soldiers stand in perfect order beside each grave. The Empire's flag drapes every coffin. Not one missing, not one unnamed. A choir in black robes sings into the dusk. A large-scale choir. This funeral isn't a ceremony. It's a stage. Townsfolk whisper behind their hands. The amount he spent shocked them into silence, then into speech, then into a rumor with legs. The rumors, Ash thinks quietly, will spread quickly. That was the whole point. Coffins, choir, gold. A message dressed as grief. Ash stands with his back to the crowd, golden light on his shoulders. This is a show, he tells himself. But it's reasonable. A servant lifts his voice for the whole square. I am the third prince and the newly appointed lord. Ash Bonemaster Everblack. The Crossroad reacts instantly. The crazy prince? That one? He looks like a jerk. Their new lord is the man they fear. Ash turns, gold light on his face, eyes unreadable. Not smiling, not apologizing. The Crossroad belongs to him now. Staff in black, faceless mourners, a silver-haired woman with an eye patch at their center. The prince walked into a room of ghosts. So you came. Two narrowed eyes in the candlelight. Someone has been waiting to see if Ash would actually show. A boy's chin tilts up. Gold-trimmed priest robes. Damien, the healer whose brother Ash let die for a recruit. Damien's face lit in funeral gold, mouth parted, grief wearing a clerical collar, speaking before Ash can answer it. A forest of candles. Rows of white-robed mourners. Every week, new graves. The choir's chorus swallowing Crossroad whole. The townspeople closing ranks behind Damien. Farmers, widows, every face blaming the prince who failed their sons. Red magic gems piled in a crate, half the Empire's loot already spent. Ash pays these families in the only currency they'll take. Damien standing over a fresh grave, a red cross cut into the stone. Van, the friend Ash traded to recruit the priest beside him. Dark eyes forward, Ash doesn't flinch. He signed for this debt the moment he chose the game over the grief. The red-braided magician, Lily, and the quiet vow. Whatever it takes, the prince intends to keep every one of them alive. Two red helms framed against a smoky sky, the Empire's soldiers saluting their unworthy prince in full formal ritual. Dame Jupiter, eye patch, silver hair, 30 years of ruined honor standing in the prince's line like it still means something. Sword points breaking the sunset sky, steel salutes rising in a red horizon, a gesture the Empire still owes a prince it already hates. Sparks against red cloud. The speech is over. The sky answers with gunfire no one will bother to count. Excuses of an unworthy commander. The spending of a lunatic lord. Their words are knives Ash already measured and packed. Red cape trembling against an orange horizon. His body shakes, but he stands, and nobody else wanted this weight. The grin returns, glove fists knocking together. Shall we go destroy stage 1? The funeral's grief has 5 minutes of air left. Stage 1. 3 days and 1 hour until start. 73 minutes already burning. The timer is a countdown to hell. A quiet full moon over Crossroad's silhouette. After the funeral ended, the prince vanished from the hall and into the dark. Mansion backyard. Two small figures on stone. Ash and Lucas, meeting alone where no one else will overhear them. A rubble pile. Red cape at the edge. What used to be a giant spider nest is now a grave the game lets you reopen. System prompt. Would you like to activate the teleport gate? Yes. No. the choice a sane prince would refuse. Ash smirking blue. Black hair catching the portal light. Of course it's yes. The gamer is about to do what the game never expected. Frozen crystals in a blue cavern. Crosses of ice. The queen's lair. A corpse room. The game bookmarks after your first kill. A ghostly spider corpse. Frozen mid-claw. The boss that nearly wrecked the Empire is now scenery for a scouting run. White light. Crystal spears. The portal's breath spilling into a field of ruined exoskeletons that used to eat soldiers alive. Two silhouettes at the portal's mouth. Prince and knight stepping out of the mansion and into a tutorial corpse dream. Lucas blinking wide. Your Highness? What is this? The blonde knight doesn't know the rules. Ash is about to teach him. A white boot touching blue water? That's right. The prince stepping onto the cavern floor like he owns the schematic. Ash's gloved hand in the cold glow. A free pass into the enemy's main base. Dungeon offense. The game's backdoor. Tower defense. Dungeon offense. Printed on the cover of the game classic nerds spend 1,000 nights beating on livestream. When the enemy doesn't attack, you go in. Explore. Hunt the source. The gamer is using the rulebook the Empire never opened, so it can open before stage 1. Ash's head tilted, confirming the world still obeys the mechanics he memorized cold. It's difficult as hell, but it's not an unreasonable game. A prince talking to himself like a veteran player, Ash flashing back to pixel sprite glory. The tutorial stage where classic nerd nearly died before he found the cheat characters. 2 sprites. Demian, Jupiter, an almost cheat priest, and a wide-range SR attacker. Ash already has 2 of the 3. I have a chance at this. No, I can definitely do this. The grin of a man who finally remembered he's still the player. Ash and Lucas in the blue cavern. Rules explained. The next stage already on the scouting list. Lucas nodding like a soldier. Lucas in noble armor, a gauntlet striking his chest. The blonde knight swearing readiness before he's asked to question anything at all. I am completely prepared, Your Highness. Blue eyes locked on the prince. A vow delivered on instinct, not information. Ash's mouth hanging open. That's it? The tyrant expected suspicion. He got devotion. The wrong reaction is a red flag. A question mark hovering over Lucas. Lucas should be the one with the most questions right now, and he's asking exactly none. The 2 in the dark cavern. Lucas knows the city's design, knows the dungeons. Despite arriving here for the very first time, Ash narrow-eyed. Isn't that kind of weird? The prince filing every silence into a folder marked "Watch this man carefully." The backyard sky again. A silent hey. Ash pulling Lucas back into moonlight for a question that can't be asked inside the portal. Don't you have something to ask me? Prince in red cape. Knight in silver plate. A test disguised as a casual nudge. Lucas. Close. Blue eyes wide. A bead of sweat down his temple. The question has landed and he feels it. Ash frowning hard. Sweat on his own brow too. The prince has set a trap and already senses it snapping shut on both of them. Blonde armor turning away. Only do what your highness commands. I have no questions. Lucas walking past the test without triggering it. A crescent moon? Falling petals? I am your sword and shield? The oath delivered to a sky that carries it on the wind? Lucas in half shadow. I only slash and block. A knight offering a blade and refusing a brain. On purpose. Ash. Close. Dark eyes softened. The tyrant's calculations short-circuiting against a loyalty he didn't earn and can't price. He's telling me that he trusts me more than any suspicion he has. Lucas already chose his side, before the evidence arrived. A red cape? Back turned. Lucas, you bastard. The prince cursing the knight for making him care. Blonde hair, blue eyes, Lucas staring straight ahead. The knight sealed into his choice like armor he refuses to remove. Ash smirking, dark eyes sliding sideways. The prince swallows the sentiment and puts his gambler's face back on. Okay, Lucas. The cavern portal spinning blue. 2 figures stepping to the doorway of the hidden queen's lair. Teleport. Choose your destination. Lakeside. The prince's gloved finger pressing the only unlocked option on the board. White light swallowing them both. A portal chewing the world. 2 silhouettes vanishing into the game's unofficial shortcut. Blue cavern. Steep descent. The lake's throat. Silent. Deeper than the tutorial ever warned. No monsters yet. Only the quiet. Red-eyed shapes rising in the dark. 3 of them. Not 1 boss. 3. Ash reading the room wrong. Ash's face breaking open. Damn it. I'm fucked again. The prince who walked in smirking is already back to doing math in a pit. Ash steps in alone. No trumpets. no guards, a prince walking into a manor that belonged to a dead man. Golden light blasts through the stained glass doors. One word rips out of him, Ader, a name for a distant god. What's the state of the city's military power? Beside him, the pixel butler flickers into place, already writing. We've already hired every mercenary that came to our city. The butler's voice is prim, reading war prep like a grocery list. So we can't recruit more? Ash's tone sharpens. Everybody counts. Crossroad is a graveyard in waiting and he knows it. At least within this city. Yes, the butler drawls. Translation: if Ash wants more swords, he has to leave the walls. Fine. New order. Stop all production and bring them here. Understood, the butler squeaks, waiting for the real reason. Understood. The butler's pixel eyes spiral into dizzy circles. Every heir he served was boring. This one is something else entirely. Is that really okay, my lord? A servant's last question. The kind you ask when the man has already decided. Ash doesn't even turn. Just keep going. The butler bows, still scribbling. Orders don't need to be liked, only obeyed. He turns to the window. A city that hates him sprawls under noon light. Craftsmen are about to get very interrupted. The butler backs out, tablet clutched tight. Behind him, the prince stands still as a chess piece deciding which pawn to sacrifice. His face turns slowly, profile flat, jaw set. The composure is a costume. Underneath, a player grinding a boss that shouldn't exist. He glances sideways, eyes catching candlelight. Every conversation here is performance. Real thought happens only when the audience leaves. Teeth bared, scar deep, rage pouring out. Stop all production and bring them here. The prince mask finally falls. Aftermath. Sweat, wide eyes, hands still raised. The scream echoed louder in his head than in the room. Phew. The single breath says everything. He walks toward the fireplace. Candles tremble. The red cape drags like a blood trail. Right now, this game's difficulty level isn't normal. The hell mode whisper. Everything that killed the original nerd is still loaded in. A system window flickers open in midair. He doesn't flinch. He has been waiting for this since he arrived. Beginner Commander, would you like to select this occupation? Yes or no? The system asks politely. He is already choosing yes. Confirmation shivers through the air. The screen pulses, accepts him. A level 1 prince with one new tool. Bright dots scatter across his vision, colored sparks raining down. Celebration animation. The game is dressing up what it's about to take. Dark eyes narrow through the confetti rain. What's with the effects? Something about this celebration feels like sleight of hand. What was that? That feeling just now? Sweat runs down his temple. His instincts are screaming before the notification arrives. Red bars shoot up around a blood-red notification. The celebration light was bait. Now comes the hook. Warning chime still ringing. The message hangs like a verdict. Whatever upgrade he just took, the system just priced it. Negative 50% debuff on item proficiency. Half. Everything halved. The commander class cost a body he barely had. Fine print. The window stays open, mocking. No undo button. No refund. The tyrant just paid full price for a half-working sword. What the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? The scream punches through the manor walls. Somewhere outside, a bird decides to leave. His shadow stretches across the parquet floor. Fist clenched, breath ragged. The system's logic makes sense. It's still unacceptable. Attack totem, defense totem, super buffer, main order, system party synergy is usable. 4 gifts dropped on a corpse. The blue windows stack on top of each other. For a level 1, these traits are the only reason he survives. The fireplace crackles. Orange tongues climbing iron. A room meant for relaxing men. He is not relaxing. He is recalculating. Stone mantle, candles, quiet. The loudest part of the night is his skull. Items half power, allies full buff. He stares into the fire, brow furrowed. The party is the only weapon the system hasn't nerfed, so they must become legend. The candles flicker low on their silver tree. Shadows long, prince taller than his shadow, doing the ugly arithmetic of staying alive. Party synergy. Commander class benefit. A blue window unfolding the real prize behind the debuff. Each party member's occupation unlocks a skill bonus. Lucas, Lily, Demian, Ken, they're puzzle pieces now. Try a variety of different combinations. There's even an occupation-changing system. Translation, rebuild your people from the ground up. Iron fire tools stand in the corner, long shadows across honey-colored planks. A quiet object in a room where empires are being redrawn. He stands. Red cape catching candlelight. The plan is already set. First the guilds, then the gems, then the city. 3 dots above his head. silent calculation. A level 1 body doing the work of a general staff meeting. Footsteps echo down the corridor, rough leather on polished wood. The guilds have arrived, and they brought their anger with them. 4 men kneel on the floor of the hall, robed, silent. Ash sits above them in his chair of state. He leans forward, fingers laced. The pixel butler stands at his shoulder, quill ready. Every word spoken here becomes a contract. Dark hair, red cape, calm face. The eyes are dead. The tyrant isn't angry yet. That's worse than angry. Carpenter union leader, stonemason union leader. Gray beards, heavy frowns. These are the men whose yes or no decides the next wave. Are you going to take responsibility for the production line? Quiet, almost friendly. The kind of question that gets a man beheaded. His face darkens, eyes narrow. The warmth drains out in half a second. A mask sliding off, or sliding on. His shadow stretches long across the guild leaders. The room temperature drops. Even the butler's pen stops moving. Wide, manic eyes, scar across his cheek. The crazed psycho third prince reputation wasn't a rumor. It was a warning label. Head tilts, but now you're hurting my feelings? The pitch lifts into something unstable. The guild leaders are frozen to the floor. But now you're hurting my feelings. Do you really want to die? Huh? The soft tone is the one that kills. He turns away, cape swirling, arms open wide. The theatrical pivot. He is mid-performance, and the audience is terrified. See? Everyone's angry. Look at them screaming with their veins sticking out. He points at their silence like it proves his case. A slow smirk spreads across his face. Of course you came to say no. And of course I came ready. I will offer you 20% of the magic gems the army collects at production price. The hammer drops as gift. The prince leans back, gloved hands laced, small cruel smile on his lips. He just bought loyalty with monster loot. The guild leaders' heads lift, eyes widen, 20% of every gem harvested, a sum that grows with every wave. A cascade of gold coins rains down, light bouncing everywhere. Does this make me a materialist? Yes. Yes, it absolutely does. The pixel butler in the background blushing, clapping silently. The accountant has never seen a plan this filthy and clean. Ash smiles, first time all night. Crossroad's economy just got hijacked with consent. Production lines will be screaming by morning. A hostile tide is marching straight toward Crossroad, and the city has no idea how little time remains. Inside the hall, Ash stands rigid in his red and black uniform, the verdict already burning behind his calm eyes. Every figure in the chamber wears the same frozen expression, the look of people realizing they are trapped. Ash speaks first, voice steady, eyes cold, delivering the words like a blade across their throats. As this city's civil servants, he tells them they will work these walls for the rest of their lives. No one argues. No one breathes. In one sentence, the prince has quietly conscripted the entire city of Crossroad. One voice finally cracks and agrees. I will do as you say, and the rest of the room buckles with it. Ash turns and finds Lily seated in a wheelchair, braid draped over her shoulder, saying softly, as you can see, I. He lowers his voice for her alone. Sorry, Lily, the only apology a tyrant permits himself this chapter. Her eyes fill, but she answers with the same iron the survivors always carry. Oh, I understand. A title burns beside her like a game notification. Water Artifact Technician Director, her new rank, her new cage. Ash does not dwell on her grief. He simply moves on, because his war has no room left for mourning. Jupiter steps forward, silver hair loose, eye patch gleaming, asking the most dangerous question in any war, about pay. Sunlight pours through the arched window as Ash answers, depending on your performance and efforts, it could increase. Jupiter grins, all teeth now, telling the prince to think hard about her next year's salary, Your Highness. Ash watches her perform her awkward loyalty pose, inwardly noting that this money-crazy grandma is exactly what he needs. A game window blinks open beside a crossbow. Normal crossbow level 10, attack 10 to 15, durability 30. His armory is garbage tier, his soldiers are green, and the wave does not care how underleveled the hero is. Across the hall, an aide lifts a weapon in a posture so stiff it almost seems apologetic. Ash notes the clumsy grip and thinks, his pose is a little awkward, but the willingness is all he needs. He turns and surveys the full assembly, priests, knights, the wounded, the strangers, each a piece on his board. A broken ensemble gathered around a single desk, and somehow this wreck is all that stands between Crossroad and the wave. Ash pauses, lowers his voice, and asks the room if they understood every word he just delivered. Silence answers him first. The silence of men calculating whether obedience costs more than mutiny. They step out to the south wall of Crossroad, sun hammering the stone, the scale of the neglect now obvious. A label brands itself across the scene, south wall of Crossroad, a fortress that has been quietly failing for years. The gray-bearded carpenter admits it first. It is not good. It has been neglected for so long. Ash counters coldly. Wasn't this fort built to block the monsters in the first place? So you know this fort well, he whispers at the stonemason, eyes sharp, stance looming, voice like a noose. Decreasing the wall's functionality because of a lack of income, Ash repeats, and the shame settles like dust. Ash's expression hardens. He does not waste another breath arguing. Instead, he gives the order. Just do as I tell you, he says with a smile too bright, and make me some wooden walls. Yes, sir, cracks out of their throats at once, a reflex drilled into any man standing below royalty. Within moments, the carpenter nods, the stonemason salutes, and the order becomes law across the guilds. You all heard, right? Ash calls to the workshop, and every hammer in Crossroad freezes mid-swing. What you guys have to make for the next 2 days are, he begins, and Crossroad's survival clocks begin ticking. The head carpenter bows deep. I'm sorry, your highness. As if words could patch a decade of rot, Ash does not entertain the apology. His face stays flat, his mind already calculating the next order to issue. Just do as I tell you, Ash repeats, and make me some wooden walls, tone bright and absolute. His smile in this moment is serene, almost pleasant, and somehow more terrifying than the shouting would be. Inside the guild hall, rows of white-clothed staff fall into neat formation before him without a single complaint. Ash raises his arm and the whole column bows. Crossroad's engine finally turning under its new merciless prince. Ash steps back onto the battlements alone, the city behind him transformed by 2 sleepless days. Time went by in a flash, the sky reads, as a crimson rose banner snaps proudly in the wind. Wooden walls, stonework, soldiers in formation. Every promise he made has been hammered into Crossroad's bones. A scout's lens sweeps distant green plains, wind tearing loose leaves from the canopy, everything unnervingly still. Then the stillness breaks, a shimmer, a wrongness rising out of the grass far beyond the outer fields. Close enough now to taste the wind, and somehow this was the part Ash had been waiting for. Spectral blue silhouettes blaze in the distance, rank upon rank, rising like ghosts out of the horizon. The world itself seems to ripple, reality shuddering as the monsters close the gap between grass and gate. A survivor gunner on the wall screams the alarm, sweat running, helmet rattling, all his training evaporating. The forge flares, embers spit. Somewhere in the Undercity, the cannons are being woken from long dormancy. The castle of Crossroads stands bared, flags red against stark monochrome stone, the defender's last silhouette. Every wooden wall he forced into place is about to meet the thing it was built to stop. Ash tilts his head back and roars, red cape snapping, the quiet prince finally unshackled. Helmeted ranks tighten into long columns, spears bristling, shields locking into a single unbroken wall. Every soldier marches forward now under the black banner, boots thudding in unison across the stone. Red armored crews bend over a siege weapon as Ash orders them, just fight the way I tell you to. Just fight the way I tell you to, he repeats over the battle noise, allowing zero room for improvisation. Ash grins wide, red cloak and rose banner flying, the crazed psycho third prince finally in his element. A black storm swirls on the horizon, Ash's silhouette carved against it, the tyrant facing down the wave alone. Lightning forks across the sky. Half of our attack on this stage depends on you, he tells his sorceress. Let's go, he says, and the words burn across the dark. I'll leave it to you, Jupiter. Hooves hammer the ground in heavy thuds, white-plated legs punching dust across a dead battlefield, war coming fast. A column of riders bursts across the plain, blue mana trails swirling at their hooves, Jupiter leading straight into hell. Silver hair snaps against her black eye patch, a disgraced legend dragged back onto a battlefield she buried years ago. If there aren't any obstacles, she mutters, the column punching forward like a spear aimed at the advancing wave. A lone rider plunges through a trench of dust, the Empire's whole counterattack compressed into one woman's shoulders. Blue mana flickers like stepping stones of lightning, because Ash bet everything on this one disgraced veteran holding the line. Storm clouds fold low over the front, gold light cracking between black thunderheads, the whole sky loading up overhead. Well then, Jupiter breathes, gold lightning flaring up her jaw, about to remind the Empire why they feared her. Her silhouette ignites, gold forks ripping off her shoulders. A woman turned into a loaded spell waiting to fire. A single gold bolt spears down, thunder whiting out the field, the first warning shot in a storm built to erase armies. Lightning coils like a serpent of white fire, curling through dust, hunting the front rank of the advancing wave. Another bolt hammers earth, sparks scattering, the monsters finally realizing the sky just signed their kill order. Gold lightning erupts in a wall of fire, the first sustained volley tearing open an entire lane of the advancing wave. Forks of lightning stab down like spears, the air screaming, thunder dragging straight onto every marked target below. White fire lashes through the clouds, a mouth of mana widening, and the monster line stops being a line. Another salvo arcs between pillars of smoke, Jupiter conducting a storm of executions one flick of her hand at a time. Gold threads braid into a massive strike, ground bubbling to glass, the wave reduced to char stuck on stone. This is what the Empire exiled, what Ash pulled out of disgrace, and the horizon learns the difference quickly. A gauntleted hand sparks against a blade, gold and blue mana winding, Jupiter loading the lock on a forbidden spell. Blue arcs crawl up her arm, the charge you only see right before the sky gives up and drops. Second skill, bleaching again, a cobalt storm blooming wide across the front, the spell they court-martialed her for. Blue lightning drills straight down through the wave, a vertical pillar of pure discharge, anything inside simply ceasing. A strike hits ground zero, shockwave ballooning outward, an entire section of the monster column bleached into silence. A silver ripple races across dust, no bodies left, no growls, just the ringing echo of one woman's memory. Silhouettes stand on a ridge of cooked snow, monster corpses piled past their boots. Rookies seeing victory's real cost. A smoking body lies curled in the dirt, blue mana still venting from the wound, one of Bleaching Again's receipts. A blue kill count window flashes for Ash, the number climbing past 50, every tick meaning one less thing chewing forward. Jupiter's horse rears on the smoking plain, her silhouette braced against haze, already scanning for the next swell. Let's go, Jupiter snaps, scar shining, the order that tells her riders the massacre just finished its opening act. Dark riders pour back over the ridge, silhouettes against yellow clouds, because another wave is already shoving through behind. Kill count card glares in the dark, past 50 bodies logged, Ash reading it like a clock ticking down. Run, run, rookies, Jupiter howls, don't look back and just keep running, her scar twisting as she turns rear guard. Her cry rips across the battlefield. Eye patch loose, the disgraced legend ordering her boys to survive instead of die brave. Hooves pound in reverse. The column now a retreat, Jupiter painting their exit with the last of her lightning smoke. Her eye shines wet against the gray. This part no metal covers, dragging scared boys home so the wall can fire. Jupiter rides tight against her horse's neck, screaming orders, her whole silhouette aimed at getting every rookie inside alive. The retreat column thunders back toward the wall, Jupiter small against smoke, dragging her men into Ash's real weapon. Hooves hammer across open ground, the wall growing closer, a whole plan resting on whether they clear the line. The wall fortress rises huge against the sulfur sky, ice mages bleeding frost into the cannon barrel above. Sunlight refracts off the top of the wall, the ancient mana cannon humming in its cradle, waiting for zero. Just do what I tell you to, Ash snaps. Everyone, stand by. His voice sounding less like a prince now. Black flame marks crawl the mana relays, an artifact fortress waking one glyph at a time, every conduit hungry. Sunlight peeks between the walls, a narrow corridor of stone and dust, the mouth of the trap yawning wide. Jupiter's face tightens, eye patch dark against her scarred jaw, a veteran watching her bait walk exactly where promised. Hooves clack against stone as her horse threads the narrow lane, every step a heartbeat closer to sealed kill zone. Kill the human in front of you, a voice like breaking stone tells them, and they obey like Ash wrote it. Everyone ready to fire, Jupiter commands, gauntleted hand lifted above her head, the final signal rising above the dust. And they're losing mobility, she calls, the wave jammed into one choke point, Ash's invitation cashed in full. White light detonates inside the corridor, the ancient mana cannon firing, a pillar of raw discharge plunging down the chute. The blast lances through the packed wave, a beam drilling the kill zone, flesh vaporizing in the same breath. We've waited long enough, soldiers, Ash says from the battlements, red cloak still, boots planted where planned. His silhouette rises above the wall, the tyrant watching his trap close, the joke prince now on the trigger. The mana round slams into the choke, a scream of gold fire rolling, the battlefield blown bright as noon. Orbs of fire hang suspended over the wreckage, little suns born from impact, the walls echoing a wave dying. Fire detonates along the corridor, monsters flash burning in place, the wave reduced to one bright screen between walls. A storm of orange light roars up the choke point, Ash's architecture paying out, Every brick writing kill counts. Silhouettes of creatures cook inside the blast, outlines flickering once, then gone, the corridor swallowing its contents. This is the kill zone. A flat voice announces over the wreckage. Ash's game jargon turned into real doctrine. Soldiers on the walls turn wide-eyed, caught between terror and worship, watching a maniac prince actually save the empire. The battlements shake with cheering as fires settle, survivors realizing the line held because Ash made it a weapon. Damien stares, priest robes still, eyes wet between relief and fear, a healer trying to recognize his own prince. Ash stands motionless above the smoke, the tyrant refusing to celebrate because this shot was only paragraph 1. No, Ash says, profile cutting gold against a scorched sky because nobody ever cleared this stage with one shot. Not yet, the tyrant breathes, gold sparks crawling up the gate, the cheering dying in the soldiers' throats. Blue light tears open behind the smoke, something enormous stepping through the breach, and Ash already knows its name.